yourself a nice visit, partner.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 things Fallout newbies should know in case you haven't played any of the games. Here's your spoiler warning in case you haven't finished the show.
There was a flaw in the welding just below the chest plate. I wonder if they fix that in this new model.
Number 10. The Alternate History.
War. War never changes.
From an outsider's perspective, it can seem a bit odd how Fallout is set in the far future, and yet everyone dresses and talks as if it's still the 50s. The show never dives into this facet, so allow us to give a general explanation. With World War II introducing the power of nuclear technology, American politicians, scientists, and engineers began entertaining the idea of using nuclear energy in various everyday items. Of course, this effort never moved forward for a variety of reasons, such as the financial costs and, well, the obvious safety hazards. Fallout explores an alternate history and ultimately led to a world of violence birthed from the greed of corporations, most notably Vault-Tec.
Because in Vault 101, no one ever enters.
Number 9. New Vegas. As you have probably already noticed, fans are in a tizzy over the last shot of the first season. This is because the city that Lucy's dad sees in the distance is none other than New Vegas. This city was the main attraction of the 2010 game Fallout New Vegas, which put you in the shoes of a courier who was intercepted while carrying a mysterious package. Along the way, you will meet strange and often questionable characters like Mr. House, the CEO of Robco and the head honcho of New Vegas. Yes, that same CEO we saw in Cooper Howard's flashback. If you want to go into Season 2 fully informed of the lore, we highly suggest you start playing Fallout New Vegas.
Time to cash out.
Number 8. The Viscera. At first, Fallout can seem like it goes way too hard on the gore and violence, more than many other TV MA shows tend to. Some would easily dismiss this as the show trying to attain some level of shock value. On the contrary, this is very much in line with the games. With the exception of the free-to-play Fallout Shelter, every game in the franchise has received an M for mature rating, and excessive violence and gore are the biggest reasons why. The games even have perks you can obtain to make your enemies' deaths even more explosive while giving you a small bonus in damage across all weapons. In our eyes, it seemed everyone in the show was running the Bloody Mess perk. Number 7. Ghouls.
Well, maybe not. But I'm gonna make myself welcome.
As you already learned from the Fallout show, ghouls are humans who were exposed to an obscene amount of radiation. For better or worse, this has resulted in these people holding extensive lifespans at the cost of their skin and mental deterioration. Eventually, ghouls can go feral, but as to how long until then, well, this is yet to be answered. The show introduces a substance that supposedly prevents a ghoul from turning feral. The games, on the other hand, never introduced this or ever gave an explanation as to how or when a ghoul turns from civil to feral. They just do, and it happens whenever it happens.
Well, now that is a very small drop in a very, very large bucket of drugs.
Number 6. The Vault-Tec Experiments.
But the mission of the vaults should be important to everyone.
And why is that?
Fallout the show places a heavy focus on Vault-Tec's role in causing a nuclear apocalypse, with one scene explaining how they managed to obtain the funds to make and sell vaults to people. And yes, all 100 plus vaults were made just so a few individuals could play God and create programs for their buyers to rebuild society. Each game in the franchise hides a handful of these vaults for players to discover, and they all harbor secrets that can range from simply odd to the totally messed up. One vault may have succumbed to mutated monster plants, while another simply cloned a dude named Gary a bunch of times.
Gary.
Number 5. Stimpacks.
They keep coming. They scare me. Make it stop.
There are a few occasions in the Fallout show where characters use an item called a Stimpack to heal their wounds instantly. If you were one of the folks who thought it impossible for someone to recover so quickly just because of an injection, we can't blame you for thinking so, but that is really how Stimpacks work in the Fallout games. Stimpacks are made from a mixture of stimulants and healing agents that were made to significantly accelerate an organism's regenerative abilities. According to John Cassidy in Fallout 2, Stimpacks were made in massive abundance before the Great War. Yeah, it was a pretty easy way to insert video game mechanics into a story.
Give me a Stimpak!
Number 4. You're Special. While we're on the subject of video game mechanics, we should probably address all the injuries in Fallout that should have left a character mortally wounded, if not dead. From Maximus's bullet wound to Thaddeus' smashed foot, it's hard to believe anyone could survive most of the violence inflicted upon them. We'd like to believe the show is secretly adhering and making their characters with the special system. Designed in the games for your character's stats and strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck, we can believe someone like Maximus has a high enough stat in endurance to survive a bullet wound. Cooper Howard, aka the Ghoul, probably has high stats in perception, charisma, and/or agility, which would explain his exceptional gunslinger skills, not to mention his backstory.
A hefty price on the head of a man that fits the description of that fellow right there.
Number 3. Vats. One mechanic of the Fallout games that does not make itself known in the show is the Vault-Tec Assisted Targeting System, or VATS. This allows users to identify and target specific body parts. Successfully landing hits can potentially cripple your enemy and inflict critical damage. Not once does the show allude to this mechanic in any way, shape, or form. This is probably because the game comes to a complete stop when the player activates VATS. You gotta keep the show rolling and not get too deep in the mud with the video game stuff, you know? Number 2. The Enclave.
Put your faith in John Henry Eaton, great America, and baseball will live again. Comfort.
Towards the end of Fallout's first season, characters talk of factions inflicting fear to convince others to believe in their truths. One faction that we saw at play in the show's beginning was the Enclave. Newcomers may only know of the Enclave in terms of Siggy Wilzig's escape with Dogmeat, but booting up Fallout 2 or Fallout 3 will reveal an even more sinister side of the organization. Though it looked and sounded patriotic in anthems and its leaders' voices, the Enclave conducted inhumane experiments while exercising authoritarian practices to control their followers, all in the name of creating the true humans. We're anticipating they'll be making their presence more known in Fallout's second season.
I think you know.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Super Mutants and more?
This will have to do.
Oddly enough, Fallout makes a glaring omission when it comes to other enemies and races from the games. Sure, we saw the Assaultron head in the second episode, but where are the Protectrons or Robobrains? Perhaps the biggest omission of all were the Super Mutants. Even though they were teased once or twice, these Green Hulks weren't seen in action. These folks are just as mysterious as the Ghouls on account of their varying levels of intelligence. You'll come across plenty of hostile Super Mutants, but most of the Fallout games also introduce settlements of much more civil and organized Super Mutants. But between the Deathclaw skull and the wide shot of New Vegas that concludes Season 1, perhaps fan favorite Super Mutants Marcus and Lily are scheduled to make an appearance in Season 2.
Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
Before we get the second season, which Fallout game are you planning to tackle first?
A nuclear event would be a tragedy, but also an opportunity.
Let us know down in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo for more great videos every day.